Welcome to Politics Watch. You're about to see highlights from the PNP Covenant held at the Manchester High School on Thursday, November 29th. You're about to watch part 1 of 3.
Comrades, good afternoon. Let me apologize for the late start. We are about to start. There are quite a few comrades on the way here, especially most of the members of the Region 5 Patriots, Manchester and St. Elizabeth. But nonetheless, we will start the business of the People's National Party and the Patriots consultations and the Covenant. I want to congratulate you for coming out on time. And our General Secretary and our main speaker is here. Commissioner, you said? Okay. I'll get into that. My name is Comrade Mario Mitchell, the Councillor of the Belfield Division, and I will be your moderator this afternoon. We are having the first, is it the first in Region 5, Comrade Chairman? Yes, and that also, and Vice President of the Patriots. Thanks for the reminder, Comrade Chairman. This is the first in a series of consultations in Region 5. There are a number of consultations happening island-wide. I think there was one in Portmore even yesterday. The Covenant is the new document in terms of the vision and the ideals behind what the People's National Party government will be like, and an inclusive government. So we're having consultations because you know that is the business of the People's National Party. We don't just put something to you, we want your feedback also. So let me welcome, first of all, I want to welcome the Member of Parliament for South East St. Andrew and also the General Secretary of the People's National Party, Comrade Julian Robinson. He's our main presenter here tonight. And I want to recognize Regional Chairman, Comrade Hopetoun McCarthy, also Chairman of Region 5. Comrade Michael Stewart, Member of Parliament for Southern Manchester, Opposition Spokesperson on Education. I see Councillor Jones Oliphant, and he's our guest. I hope he walk with something for at least a bottle of water for the people here. In Mandeville Division, Councillor Comrade Jones Oliphant of Mandeville Division. I see also Councillors Faith Sampson from Northwest Manchester, Johns Hall Division is also here. I'm sure I saw the deacon in the church. Councillor Erwin Fierce, the teacher from the Spiritual Division, is also here. Regional Secretary Comrade Verna Manning just walked in also. And I see Comrade Patricia Elliott from the Women's Movement, and I see Comrade Donald Sutherland, the money man. Comrade Suddy, I don't want to pressure the people too early. I want to recognize the members of the Patriots. Comrade Celia Bryant is one of the persons leading the charge here in Region 5. Stand, Celia, let them see you. So when you see her doing the work around Manchester and St. Elizabeth. Comrade Leighton Morris, that you see there, getting the computers ready, is also one of your members. And I'm going to ask Comrade Holness to also stand. We're kind of bringing some new blood into the system. Comrade Bell from the Belfield Division, and also she's doing the registration. These are some of the members that you have here. And we have some other members there, Ashani, and so they can also stand. As I said before the night is out, we'll be asking for more chairs. Comrades are going to invite someone who is a more pleasing face to give you an official welcome here this afternoon. And I want you to welcome the lady who is also working here at Manchester High, Comrade Kay Holness, to give you the official welcome. Let her feel welcome, please.
Good evening, comrades. I want to specially welcome you to Manchester High and the parish of Manchester. It's good to have you here today. It's really good, looking good, to hear what our secretary has to say, read the Covenant. I would like you to just sit back, relax, listen, and enjoy the presentations. And if there are any questions, please feel free to ask the questions that you're here for. So again, welcome to Manchester, Patriots, and have yourself a good day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Holness. Give her a round of applause. Remember, we tell you the Patriots is bringing the new blood into the party. I want to especially recognize Comrade David Atkins from the Napatrick Division, and I see some comrades here from Napatrick, from Royal Flat, from My Gully. I see Comrade Berkey. I don't know if you're representing the council for the My Gully Division, but I see Comrade Berkey Hepburn here. Also, all the comrades from wherever, I see comrades from Kendall, Napatrick, from Hearties. I see my good friend Lauren down there from South East St. Elizabeth. You representing the constituency, Lauren, here this afternoon? Okay, give him a round of applause. And the comrades continue to come in from Northwest Manchester and elsewhere. And I see Northeast Manchester here represented quite well. Right, Comrade Pretty? As usual. Give them a round of applause. They're all here. Comrades, I now invite to you in his capacity as the head of this region, none other than Comrade Hopeton Makati, to give you a brief greetings. Protocol dictates that the regional chairman say something.
Good afternoon, comrades, friends. Welcome to this outreach activity. It's a very important activity for the region that comprises Manchester and St. Elizabeth. I'm the new regional chairman, a part of the renewal process that has been occurring in the party, particularly from 2016. Just to refresh your memory somewhat, since 2016, comrades, we have had some significant changes within the leadership of the People's National Party. Our president, Dr. Peter Phillips, took over in 2016. The four vice presidents have one from 2016 and there are three from 2018. The chairman of the party and the vice chairman took over in 2017. The legal advisor in 2017 and the treasurer in 2018. So it's a fresh look that we have within the People's National Party. At the level of the region, I'm chairman of Region 5, which consists of Manchester and St. Elizabeth. I am a new regional chairman, and we have 6 regions, and we have 4 new regional chairpersons. So it's a fresh look, and tonight you'll be exposed to this document that we are working on. It's not finalized, so we are here to get your own input, your own ideas, and as the comrade chairman for the night said, we want it to be as interactive as possible. But again, let me welcome you all here tonight. Allow me just take a second to apologize for the absence of His Worship, the Mayor of Mandeville, Comrade Donovan Mitchell. He's not feeling well, so he's not here, and he asked me to apologize on his behalf. And Comrade McKay Phillips, MP for Northwest Manchester and Vice President, is in Region 2 doing PMP work. So again, comrades, just sit back, relax, and let us have a very fruitful discussion. And we know other comrades from St. Elizabeth are on the way. I know Comrade Dr. Dwayne Spencer and his team, they are on the way. So let us get going. And Comrade Bunting is coming? Okay, I'm not sure. Comrade Bunting is on his way also. So comrades, sit back and relax. And we are fortunate that we have the General Secretary, Comrade Julian Robinson, in the house. Someone in whom we are all very pleased. So let me welcome Comrade Robinson to Region 5, the greatest region in the People's National Party. The greatest region in the People's National Party. You're waiting on that? Okay, the greatest region in the People's National Party. And sit back and relax and enjoy, comrades. Thanks for coming.
Comrades, one more time for the regional chairman, Comrade Hopeton Makati. Comrades, before we get into the business of this afternoon, I just want to give you a brief history about the PMP Patriots. In case you didn't know, at this conference, at this year's conference in September, the PMP Patriots is the newest affiliate of the party. And you can clap for that. That's a nice round. That's a nice achievement. It's an affiliate similar to the PMP Women's Movement and also to the PMP YO and also the National Workers Union. And that has been a process that has taken a number of years in terms of putting in some political work, getting some membership increase. And now I think you have quite a few Patriots Army in each parish. There's an active one in Portland. There's a Region 6 Patriots, and there's no one in Region 5 that is hosting this afternoon. And there's also the Region 3 PMP Patriots. The Patriots is a little bit different from the PMP-YO. It's in a part of the affiliation process, the Patriots will start at 30 or 31, 31. So we'll still have the young persons there in the PMP-YO, but then you can have a smooth transition over to persons over into the Patriots. But the Patriots was officially a professional arm, young professional arm of the People's National Party. And so we have quite a few young persons here. Remember, you have Leighton here, who's an educator. You have Comrade Holness, Comrade Bell, Comrade Celia, who's a pharmacist and architect, and a number of other things. Quite a few of the members who are here are young professionals in their own right. And one of the good things about it is that we find quite an awesome team of young persons who are basically new to the politics. So we want to ensure that Comrade Makati, I know you're going to plan some things for them for some political education training. These, ladies and gentlemen, are people who you call future candidates, future campaign managers, future organizers. And we have a great wealth of knowledge and experience that we can pass on to these comrades who are here. So that's some of the things that I want to tell you about the Patriots. So you're not going to see them getting any lower. You're going to see them getting higher as we move forward in the work of the People's National Party. So, ladies and gentlemen, comrades, I'm going to move into the next item on our agenda. And, well, we're supposed to have Comrade Bazuet at this moment, but I will welcome former General Secretary and Member of Parliament, the Honorable Peter Bunting from Central, our host MP this afternoon. So we're going to, Comrade Robbins is going to do 2 sessions. The process of formulating the covenant itself and then move into his main presentation of the covenant. So the comrades who are coming in, just get your registration done at the door and then you come and have a seat. We save the seats in the front just for you, so you can be here. So ladies and gentlemen, the General Secretary and Opposition Spokesperson, Member of Parliament in South East St. Andrew, Comrade Julian Robinson.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mario. Let me acknowledge the Regional Chairman, Comrade Hopton McCarthy, MPs, Comrade Bunting and Comrade Stewart, the councillors who are here, the members of the Regional Executive, the Constituency Executive members, and friends who are here to participate in this consultation this evening. And let me thank the Patriots and the leadership of the Patriots for organizing today's function. I just want to spend a couple of minutes giving a little bit of context as to why we're having the discussion today and how it fits into the overall objectives of the party. I would say there are 3 tracks that we are running on at the same time. One, as a party, we are preparing ourselves for the eventuality of an election, and even though we're about just shy of 3 years in terms of the administration, our primary objective is to ensure that we have candidates in place in the first instance at the national level in all 63 seats, but with a particular focus on what we consider to be the critical seats that make the difference between whether we form the government or not. And with regard to the critical seats, we are somewhere about 80–85% complete in putting candidates in place. Certainly in your region, you're well advanced. I think there are only 2 seats that are left, but certainly for one, there is someone who is identified. The second track is to define what we are about as a political movement. What is it that we stand for? And we felt it was important relatively early in our term to begin a discussion with both what I would call our internal but also our external stakeholders on the ideas that we have that we believe can make a difference in improving the quality of life for the Jamaican people. We have a responsibility as an opposition to hold the government to account. And I think we have been trying to do that, and we have done that with some success. And I'll be frank, there's a lot to hold this government to account for, because the level of corruption is unprecedented in this government, and there are still things that are emerging in terms of how they operate. But the second part of what we have to do, one is to hold them to account, but we have to tell people what we would do differently and what our platform would be. And that is why we came up with the Covenant, which is a set of ideas that we have that we believe can make a difference in the lives of the Jamaican people. And then the third track that we're running on is to modernize how we operate as a political party and to ensure that we infuse new ideas, new technologies in how we organize, in how we communicate, and more importantly, how we interact and interface with the public. So those are the 3 tracks that we are running on. The Covenant was launched, and there's a document, and I know most of you would not have seen this. It was launched at our annual conference, and the party leader spoke to it. And what we have decided to do is to have a rollout of these discussions on the Covenant, which started in October last month at our regional executive councils, and the consultation today is a part of that process, and we are going to be going across the length and breadth of the country, both within the organization and also outside of the organization, to present our ideas and to hear from you as to whether you agree, disagree, and what you think we should be doing differently. At the heart of the Covenant philosophically is that we believe there are structural inequalities that exist in our society which prevent the majority of Jamaican people from attaining the kind of standard of living that we expect and we would want them to have. In spite of growth, and there is, in Jamaican terms, reasonable growth, not high, growth that is taking place. Any of you who are representatives will know that the vast majority of people, if I just use poor persons, are no better off today than they were 3 years ago. In fact, I would say if you look at the cost of living and the other factors, they are worse off. And nothing that this government has presented is going to address that. So while growth in and of itself is important because we want job creation and economic activity, without other direct interventions, you're not going to address the issues of inequality. And I would say to comrades, and they're primarily comrades here, if you look at the periods of greatest growth in the country, they have been followed by voting out of JLP administrations. From 62 to 72, on average 6% growth, and it led to the voting out on the voting in of a PNP administration in 72, again on the issues of inequality. In the late 80s, from about 85, 86 to 89, 3 to 4% growth on average. Again, it led to the voting in of a PNP administration. And one of the main reasons is that if you don't structure your policies in such a way that you have inclusive growth, you're going to have growth which leaves behind the majority of the Jamaican people. And at the heart of what we stand for as a political movement is to ensure that we provide access to opportunity for all Jamaicans. So the first area that I want to address is education, which for the People's National Party has been for us, the vehicle by which poor Jamaicans can achieve social mobility, empowerment, and upliftment. And there are a number of issues, and we have the Deputy Spokesman for Education here, Comrade Stewart. There are a number of issues that affect our education system. We pretty much, if we start at the basic level, we have a system where I call it the conveyor belt system in our education system. We send children through from basic to primary to high school. They get to high school, they do, it used to be common entrance, is now GSAT, is now PEP, which is, the implementation has been a disaster. But we send them through a system, and then when they get to 15 or 16, where they have to do CSEC or CXCs, the vast majority of them do not attain a pass level which prepares them, or do not even attain the educational level which prepares them to compete in the world of work. So what we have really is that at 15 or 16, after 10 to 12 years of education, the majority of students that we are turning out cannot compete in the world that exists, and in Jamaica, which leads to a whole set of issues in relation to antisocial behavior and violence, etc. So one of the first commitments we have made, and we recognize that you can't come to school hungry and expect to learn. We have made a commitment, which is part of our covenant, that we will provide to every single child at least one meal daily for every single child in our education system. And by meal, we're not talking about the bull and the water. We're talking about a nutritious meal, because we recognize that the reality for many students who come from poor homes is that some of the parents can't afford, with the bus fare and the other things, to provide that. So the first thing is to ensure that students coming to school are at least fed so that they can focus on their studies. We have also committed, and this is the one that I think many of you would have heard of, a first in family scholarship at the tertiary level, where we are saying for the first person in each family that matriculates to tertiary, we will provide full state funding for that person. So as an example, if it wouldn't apply if your mother or father or your brother or sister has been to tertiary, attain tertiary education. But if you are the first, we believe it is important to lift a family out of poverty by providing full state funding for that person who matriculates. One of the big challenges we have in tertiary at this moment is that we have a lot of students who matriculate and attain and can get into tertiary schools, but they lack the funding. And even with a students loan bureau right now, we simply don't have enough funds to provide for all the students who reach the level of tertiary education. And we also have proposals as to how we are going to reform student loan bureau to make it easier for students to access funding, to reduce some of the requirements which have proven onerous in terms of guarantors, and to allow more Jamaicans to access tertiary education. Right now, we have made strides. When I studied at university, and that's 20 years ago, we were at about 5 to 6% of the population accessing tertiary. I think is now about 13%. But if we are to compete as a country, we have to move that up. We have to more than double that. So we have made a commitment that the first student in each family who attains tertiary matriculates will be fully funded by the government. We're also committed to the reform of the basic and the primary school level, which we regard as the most important level in the education system. And there's always a debate about where resources within our education system should go. The majority go at this point, I think, to tertiary. And we have to have a discussion about how we ensure that at the basic level and the primary level, they are adequately funded so that students can have and achieve the foundations. Because in our conveyor belt system, as I term it, if you don't achieve the basics, at some point in time, you're going to have to spend a lot of money on remedial. And my own view, a lot of the money that is spent, whether it is through HEART, whether it's through the CAP program, is to correct what we didn't get right in the first place. And it's important to spend it because it has a positive impact on reducing those students who come out of your system and don't have basic skills. But what you want to do is put the investment early on so that when a student leaves basic school, they can read basic things, write them name, the basic things. So when they go into primary, they can keep up. And when they get to the level of doing the PEP now, they can at least compete there. Right now, the investment is so low at the primary and the basic level that our students are not doing well there. So the commitment in education, one, the first in family at the tertiary level to be fully funded by the state, but a commitment to providing the resources at the basic and the primary level to ensure we produce and give students a quality education there. The second area that I want to touch on relates to the Jamaican worker. Over time, and this has probably been most prevalent in the security guards, in persons who work within hospitals as janitors, etc. Many of the companies that employ persons have moved to what we call contract work, where they don't where employees who by the definition of the work they do are employees, but as a way of managing and reducing their costs, they employ persons on contract. What it means is that those persons have no protection, they have no benefits. And one of the issues that the country is going to face in the not too distant future is that you're going to have a very large percentage of our retirees who are going to be in a position where they have no pension, and that burden is going to be borne by the state. They're not going to have pensions, they're not going to have adequate health care, they're going to have no benefits. Because over the last 20 to 30 years, you have had more and more companies employing workers as contract workers. We have made a commitment that we are going to protect workers from this. What it really is an exploitative practice. It's simply a way of, instead of paying the statutory deductions and the other benefits, which might add another 30% to the cost of an employer really does cause you a contract worker. It has flourished because we have been in an environment where jobs are difficult to get. So persons are not going to be picky and choosy about getting if you get a job and somebody employs you as a contractor, you take it because there are not 10 or 15 other options out there. But it means that workers are being taken advantage of. In many cases, they are dismissed without reason. They don't have holidays. They don't have the normal benefits. And what you have now is a workforce which really has no protection and which has no benefits when they retire. That's the case with the vast majority of security guards. It's the case with people who work in your hospital as janitors and other auxiliary workers, and probably across the board, because more and more companies outsource that activity to third parties, and the third parties do it using contract workers. We have always been a progressive party in terms of our policies on protecting workers. It's an issue which we are committed to taking on, and a commitment that we are making that we will ensure that the Jamaican workers are protected in law, and that once they meet the requirement of what a worker is, there will be legislation to protect them.